Born in 1927 in the coastal town of Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, Juan Mari Bras was a brilliant Puerto Rican lawyer, politician, and prominent advocate for Puerto Rican independence. He made history in the 1990s by renouncing his U.S. citizenship in an act of political defiance, becoming the first Puerto Rican to do so with the express goal of reclaiming exclusive Puerto Rican citizenship. Puerto Rico has been a U.S. territory since 1898, and its residents were granted U.S. citizenship in 1917 under the Jones-Shaffer Act. However, the question of Puerto Rico's political status, whether it should remain a U.S. territory, become a state, or gain independence, has long been a source of political debate. Juan Mari Bras was a staunch advocate of independence and spent much of his life arguing that U.S. control of Puerto Rico violated the island's right to self-determination. In 1994, Mari Bras traveled to Venezuela, where he had connections with other activists and allies who supported his cause. He arranged to meet with officials at the U.S. Embassy in Caracas, the Venezuelan capital. At the U.S. Embassy, Mari Bras informed officials of his intention to formally renounce his U.S. citizenship. He filled out the necessary forms and took an oath of renunciation before a consular officer. As part of the process, he turned over his U.S. passport and any other U.S. citizenship documentation. He also provided personal identification and evidence supporting his claim of Puerto Rican citizenship. Shortly after, the U.S. Department of State approved his renunciation. Mari Bras' renunciation of his U.S. citizenship in 1994 has significant legal ramifications, particularly regarding his status in Puerto Rico and his broader challenge to U.S. law. By renouncing U.S. citizenship, he forfeited all associated rights and privileges, such as the right to vote in U.S. elections, hold a U.S. passport, and certain federal benefits. His legal residency in Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, became a gray area, since Puerto Rican residents are generally considered U.S. citizens. However, Mari Bras argued that he retained Puerto Rican citizenship, which he considered distinct from U.S. citizenship. In 1997, the Puerto Rico Supreme Court ruled in his favor, affirming that he remained a citizen of Puerto Rico, with the right to vote in local elections. This ruling established a legal precedent recognizing Puerto Rican citizenship as separate from U.S. citizenship, though its practical implications remained symbolic. Despite his renunciation, Mari Bras faced no deportation or formal action by U.S. immigration authorities, likely due to the political sensitivity of his case. Without a U.S. passport, his international travel became more complicated, and his ability to freely move between Puerto Rico and the mainland United States was technically uncertain, though not actively restricted. His act highlighted contradictions in Puerto Rico's colonial status and drew attention to what some consider the imposition of U.S. citizenship on Puerto Ricans under the Jones Act of 1917. Although the U.S. government had initially accepted Mari Bras' renunciation, he was notified on June 4th of 1998 by the U.S. Department of State that they were rescinding their acceptance and refused to accept his renunciation, determining he could not renounce his U.S. citizenship as he did not request another national citizenship, and he was born and remains living and working in Puerto Rico, which is a part of the United States. Juan Mari Bras passed away on September 10th of 2010. His renunciation of his U.S. citizenship continues to inspire discussions about national identity, self-determination, and the relationship between Puerto Rico and the United States. For Puerto Rican independence advocates, Marty Bras remains an iconic hero who boldly challenged the status quo and demanded recognition of Puerto Ricans as a distinct people with the right to govern themselves.
No voy a Puerto Rico por ser ciudadano americano. Yo voy a Puerto Rico porque nací allí. Y porque ustedes no tienen más remedio que dejar que yo viva allí, porque la propia ley de ustedes dice que a los extranjeros indocumentados hay que devolverlos a su lugar de origen. Y el lugar de origen mío es el barrio Salud de Mayagüez. Ustedes me mandan para allá y cumplen.
Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Help us to spread this video by sharing. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more videos.